So that's my whole issue with the perfect form. Aside from it making next to no sense. I mean, we don't have a lot of context right now, so sure, okay, fine, more context will come out later, but it looks dumb. It really does. Like, I'm not excited for it. I'm not hyped for it.
Okay.
Zygarde, 30%! What the fuck?
That's what I've been waiting for.
Like, honestly, why does it need to be a dog? There's no reason for it to be a dog. There's no reason at all for it to be a dog. It went from, how the fuck do you get a dog from a snake? How do you get a fucking transformer from a snake, now that I think about it? Like, what the fuck? What am I looking at? What am I looking at? That's what I want to know. It has no reason to be a dog. It's cute, I guess, aside from the fact that it's the most basic, generic fucking dog I've ever seen in my life. Houndoom, which is closer in design to it, looks more interesting. Why? Because it actually has some characteristics, aside from being just a black dog with a green ribbon around its neck. A+, 10 out of 10, perfect character design. Everybody knows what they're doing over at Game Freak. Like, I get it. It's hard to make Pokemon. I'm not bashing anybody. You know, it's hard. It's hard. It's really hard to keep things fresh and new and all that sort of stuff. Especially as years progress, you know, like, ideas get made. Like, people make ideas and there's copyrights on them. I get it. You can't do certain things. I understand that. That's fine. But have some fucking self-respect. It doesn't need to be a dog. A tiny dragon would have made a lot more sense if you wanted to give it that amount of forms. Wouldn't it? Because it's still lizard-like, it's still snake. It's closer to the fucking transformer I'm staring at than a dog. I don't understand that at all. I don't. It makes no logical sense. This was a series that went from having things that were based very much on real life, or even things that you could find in everyday objects that had evolutionary lines that looked like they could make sense, to, I don't even fucking know. Like, what the fuck am I looking at? A piece of shit? I swear to God, I've taken pieces of shit with better shapes than Zygarde Perfect Form.
And this is why she's called the Angry Canadian.
Okay, like, it...
But no, I
think once they get riled, like...
I agree. It does seem very weird that suddenly it goes... Like, the cell forms and the core form actually look like they would represent Zygarde. Like, they kind of make sense.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. There are ideas on this that's really cool. I really like the cell ideas for Zygarde. It makes sense. Zygarde has the little hexagons. They're hexagonally shaped. There's multiple of them. The move 1,000 Waves and 1,000 Arrows uses, like, this little hexagon pattern. It's an unreleased move, but if you've ever seen it, it looks like little hexagons are, like, waving and coming out of the body and to attack the thing. So that makes great sense. That makes amazing sense. That's a really smart idea. And it fits in with the lore. Of course Zygarde would need, like, little scout things to go and check out the balance of nature and see how things are going without, you know, dragging its giant lizard ass all the way around the world. That makes so much sense. Of course they would need to exist. It's adorable. It's great. They're kind of simple looking, but, you know, I get it. Pokemon's hard to make. Like, that's a great idea. Why the fuck do I need another dog? I have, like, 6 dogs already. Like, I don't need and it doesn't even have any reason to be a dog. It doesn't. It really does. Like, give me a reason why it needs to be a dog. Does it, like, at all?
I get the feeling that we're going to find out some reasons for A, why it has a dog form, and B, why it has that giant golem form. But right now, it does seem like completely ridiculous.
And like, don't get me wrong. It's not that I'm not excited for, Z or whatever the fuck they're doing now. I'm always hyped for Pokemon. Like, I fucking love Pokemon. I'm not even that upset that I'm not getting a Generation 7, because it'll come eventually. Let's be honest. We all know Generation 7 will come eventually. Mm-hmm. You know, so I can wait. I can do that. Like, I'm fine with that. I am 100% okay with them doing a sequel. I fucking love Black and White 2. They were amazing. I totally think they have the potential to make good sequels, because when they're not focusing on some sort of gimmick their system's doing, they can actually make some really good stories. So I am A-okay with Pokemon Z. I'm A-okay with the little cell and core forms for Zygarde. I'm A-okay with Zygarde even needing different forms. I can even sort of give the lazy design on Zygarde Perfect a pass, because I get it. It's tough to make Pokemon. It's really hard. And, you know, sometimes you just get inspired by things. Maybe they were just watching some old Transformers episodes and were like, Holy shit, I fucking love Optimus Prime so much, I'm gonna make him into a Pokemon. Okay, cool, you can do that. It's your fucking game, right? But there's it doesn't make sense. Like I get it. Okay, fine. Information's gonna come out eventually, whenever, and it'll make more sense then, and I guess I'll be more okay with it. But I still don't see a reason for the dog. A little dragon would make more sense, because, you know, it would be able to fly, even if it can't use its wings. It's still, like, more interesting and cute than this generic fucking dog. I think I've seen that dog on my street with how generic it looks.
Okay.
Oh, hey, look, a black apricorn.
Nice. I like how you're just so, like, you get so involved. This is one of the things I enjoy whenever you talk about, like, stuff that you're really into, is that you get, like, super animated and super excited or super angry and stuff, and then you just immediately just, like, snap out of it, and it's just like, oh, look, an apricot. An apricorn.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, at the end of the day, it's a game.
I know, but I kind of envy that aspect of you, because I don't really do that, because, you know, robot.
Ah, yes. Poor Robot.
Robot doesn't have that many emotions.
Don't be sad, Robot.
But, so it is official that they are coming out with the Pokemon Z, which I think we all kind of figured was going to happen.
Yeah, I think my biggest gripe for the not having it as Generation 7 is that in the X and Y, they specifically give you a statue that looks exactly like the outline they gave to us in the first Coral Leaks.
Okay.
And they're like, this is, the guy who gives it to you goes, I'm not from Kanto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Johto, or any of the regions like that. He lists them all. Like, he's not from any of the regions. He's not from Kalos either. He's a tourist. And he says, this is a statue of a Pokemon that guards my home country. And it looked like the outline. So why the fuck would I ever think that it's a Zygarde? And if it is Zygarde, what the fuck is Zygarde doing in another fucking country? It belongs in X and Y. It belongs in Kalos. So either that guy's a fucking liar and he's not a tourist, or Zygarde's bullshitting us and going into Gen 7 without us, fucking it behind its back, giving it that sweet, sweet legendary love without us.
Well, I can make a couple of hypotheses. Okay,
Sure.
so one, they're either going to create like a whole new area just for us to visit. Maybe not necessarily like a whole new map with extra gems, but sort of like just like a new town or something that has Zygarde in it, and it's not actually part of Kalos, but it's also not really its own like little country or something.
Oh, like the City
Yeah,
Islands from Fire
sort of like that. Or it could be like a silver and gold sort of thing where we do have like a second set of gems to go to and stuff like that. Maybe. I mean, I doubt it. It's kind of a long shot, but they've done it before. It wouldn't be surprised if they tried it again.
Yeah, but Gold and Silver was more because they were sequels, and we were just revisiting.
Well, technically, X and Y are sequels, so you know, instead of creating like a brand new game, they just like add on to the original.
Yeah, but then isn't that kind of cheap, don't you think?
It could be. I'm not saying that it ain't. I'm just saying that it is the possibility.
I think because there's some Torchic over here.
Aw, Torchic.
And a Skarmory and a Rampant.
I'm finding tons of bird and like rock Pokemon, and I need everything but those, honestly.
Yeah. What is this place? It's got a lot of fire affinity. Ooh, this is a fire gym. Whoops. I don't know how I ended up over here, but if I'm already at the fire gym, this is quite the small map indeed. It's literally a straight line. On my way, Lampant. I don't know.
Yeah, all my Pokemon are dead again.
Mine too.
So I'm just gonna run. If I can.
Good idea.
Okay.
Good idea. We should really find a house. Or build a house. But I don't even think they have savannas.
It doesn't look like they have much right now. Which, honestly, isn't that bad. In a way. Because,
Holy shit, there's a Groudon in here.
A wild Groudon.
No, it's owned.
Curses.
It's huge. Good for you, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. Oh, fuck, what was I thinking about?
So, what was... You said the first and second games were your favorite generations? Is that right?
Well, yeah, that's because I grew up with them, right? So, like, when I played fucking Pokemon Blue since before I could read.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, like, they came out whenever. I was born in 96, and what happened was my cousins had this, they had a Game Boy, and they're like older, they're much older, right? So they didn't really play it anymore, and they gave me a couple games, and, they were like, here, you can have this, and it basically had Super Mario and the 6 golden coins, and then it had, like 64 games in one or whatever,
oh,
right? Like,
nice.
they didn't have, yeah, they didn't have a lot, right? But it was nice. And then one of my brother's best friends, his name is Giancarlo. Shout out, bro. We'd borrow games from him all the time, and sometimes we'd borrow like systems and stuff because we were just that close. He let us borrow Pokemon Blue, and I was like, radical. And so I played Pokemon Blue, and it was super fun, and I loved it, and it was really awesome. And then this other dude that I knew, whose name I'm not going to mention because he was actually an asshole, let me borrow Pokemon Silver, because I actually never owned those two games myself, believe it or not. I had to borrow them. So he ended up lending us Silver, and I really, 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 really liked Silver. But I liked Gold better, because I don't know, like, I just enjoyed Gold a lot more for some dumb reason.
Like, I know that feeling, too. It's like, it shouldn't matter because they're the same generation, but at the same time...
Yeah, but you just end up having, like, your favorite,
yeah.
right? So I absolutely fell in love with Gold, and, like, I don't want to talk too much about the Gen 1 just because of, like, upcoming projects and stuff.
Right.
We may or may not do, but those are my favorite for a number of reasons that I could go on for hours, and I refuse to grace this playthrough with my commentary.
Right.
So I don't even know where the fuck I am. Ooh,
I think for me it is, well, obviously the original, because that was the one I played first. Like, I remember I watched the show before actually playing the games, and I remember when the show came out and how quickly it hit. Like, I was about 6 or 7 at the time when it came out. So, because I'm a little older than Wendy here. And,
much older. You're an adult. What are you doing talking to a child like me? Creeper.
Excuse me. You're 21.
No, I'm not. Not yet.
You're old enough.
19.
You're old enough. So, basically, you're in college. So, basically, that was the one that I grew up with. It was the one that was, like, super hyped at that time and all that sort of thing. So, that became, like, one of my big things. And, I didn't really get involved with Generation 2 that much. I mean, I played a lot of it, but I didn't like it as much as Gen 3, honestly. Gen 3 was the one that, like, really blew me away.
Gen 3.
Remember I just remember, like, going from Gen 2, where everybody has, like, the similar color schemes and stuff, and then all of a sudden, Gen 3, there's so many different colors on the screen. There's reflections in the water, there's shadows, there's clouds.
Okay, so I'm going to admit something a little embarrassing. I never owned the first 3 generations of Pokemon. I always had to borrow them.
There's nothing embarrassing about that, I don't think, but, okay.
Yeah, like, it's just, like, we were into games, but more for GameCube, because I have a twin brother, right? And, you know, for birthdays and stuff, we would just buy video games for the GameCube, because that's what we knew existed, right? And we asked our mom for a Game Boy Advance, but, you know, she had 3 kids to take care of, so she couldn't get us our every whim, so, you know, she's like, no, you have the Game Boy, that's good enough, you know, just play the games you have for that, and you have your GameCube, and, you know.
Right.
Like, nobody... Like, we probably could have asked our uncle for it, but we were too concerned, like, he was always the one that would get us the video games we wanted, so we were more concerned getting games for what we already had.
Right.
As opposed to, like, getting an entire system.
Right.
And, like, not having anything to play, right? But a lot of the games we borrowed, like we ended up. Well, we didn't end up playing a lot of Game Boy Advance games, so I missed out on a lot of good gaming there. Like, I missed out on a lot of the older gaming just because I didn't have the means to play. And then once I got a DS, I sort of went back and played a lot of the older games. But I had played Generation 4 before I played Generation 3.
Ah, okay.
But
so you really didn't get that whole wow factor in, basically, like I did.
No, I did. Actually, no, wait. No, because Giancarlo had 2 Game Boy Advances. Yes, I remember now. Giancarlo had 2 Game Boy Advances because I remember we played Mario Superstar Saga before we played the new Pokemon, and he had lent it to us. So he lent us his Game Boy Advance SP and Mario Superstar Saga. So I got my wow factor of the new generation of console gaming through Mario. Like, that was my wow factor. Like, wow, this is really colorful and really great, sort of thing. And so when I got Generation 3, how great everything looked was sort of already like a downgrade, because, like, Superstar Saga was just amazing, right? So, like, I was just sort of like, that's okay. And then Generation 3 was like, there were so many HMs I needed. And, like, don't get me wrong, like, I've made lists of Pokemon that I like. Like, I always liked list making when I was younger, so I would make lists of, like, some of my favorite Pokemon and stuff, because just because I like to do it.
Yeah, I've done similar things, so.
And, like, Generation 3 has a lot of my favorite Pokemon, ironically. Despite the fact that it's the generation I hate the most, it has a lot of the Pokemon that I enjoy more, because I watched a lot of... Like, I watched the Pokemon anime a lot, but it was sort of hard for me to find because I was never really on it wasn't on a set schedule that I recognized. And Generation 3 was always on at 8 a.m., which was before school every day at my grandmother's house, and I was always there in time for that.
Yeah,
so
I get it.
It was, like, easier to see that. So I think that's why I enjoy a lot more of the Pokemon. But I hated the gameplay a lot. It was, it's cool. Like, there are new Pokemon, there are new moves, and it's colorful and whatever, but I hated how you had to surf, and how, like, even in Generation 2, when you had to fucking surf and whirlpool, I hated that. I hated how you had to surf and dive and waterfall and cut and strength and rock smash and secret power just to be able to experience the whole game.
Yeah, I agree. They are a bit TM heavy. That being said, I actually really enjoyed the diving part. So, for me...
I thought it was cool at first, but, like, once you don't need it, like, once you get fly and you just warp places and, like, it really only exists for the story. So once you don't need it anymore, it's, like, really tedious.
Like, I kind of like the exploration aspect of it more, I guess, was the main thing. Not necessarily the actual items that I would find, but I just loved exploring all those different areas and seeing what I could find, and just the music for the diving sections was amazing.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I fucking love Generation 3 music. Like, I love the Generation 3 aesthetic, I hate the mechanic.
Yeah, I can understand that.